Alright, Shalom Akim. I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Ruach HaKodash. I'd like to double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and the Real Well. And peace and salutation to the Akim around the world that pushes truth in sincerity. I just want to go through a few precepts, I'll entitle it, Pray Not to Be a Bad Example. Because, as a man in the truth, you'll understand that sometimes you'll mess up. Sometimes you might fall. As I say, a just man falleth 7 times, right? But you should always pray never to be like a bad example unto others. As in, you will have brothers that will be doing things that might shame the ministry, or might be doing things that other brothers who younger than him will be looking upon him and as a man of the Most High, he shouldn't be doing them kind of thing. Because as you realize all through the scriptures, all men who was actually made an example unto Israel also would see them answer faith. Like you will see in the law, when somebody was doing something wickedly, you will see that a lot of the time that had to be dragged out in the court and stoned before the multitude to be made an example, so all will see and fear. You'll even see like with men like David, men who was classed as men after the Most High heart. Sometimes he didn't mess up, and he was made an example so that others would learn. Hey, don't feel just because the Most High working with you, that mean you could do wickedly and get away with it. Even when Moses smite the rock, he had to answer for that too. He had to be a public example. You understand? And these are the kind of things that you just have to pray for, that to not be an example in that kind of way. Now we know everything is ordained, and but the scriptures say pray. In Matthew 6, I'll start from 12. It says, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Which is really where you're supposed to be praying for. You're supposed to be praying at the Most High do, Most High do allow you to be able to go into that part where you error, to the extent that you gotta be made an example. Because we know through the scriptures that some men destined to fall off, which is why I'm supposed to be praying to not be one of those men, because those men also who are destined to fall off will be examples unto the righteous. You understand? And they will be witnesses unto the scriptures, because everything that is written must happen. So these are the things I pray to never be a bad example unto others, because you're supposed to be the light. You're always supposed to be trying to remain under the right way, doing the correct thing, especially in the eyes, not only in the eyes of others, but that is also something important, because you're supposed to represent the ministry. And the same way because they hopefully are examples, but they are examples on the path of righteousness. You understand? They will be examples for people to look at and be like, this is how righteousness is supposed to be like. The same way with people who do wickedly, they will be the bad examples for people to know, hey, this is wickedness, don't follow these things. Right, so there's Jude 1 verse 7, right? It says, even as Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities about them in like manner, giving themselves over to fornication and going after strange flesh. If you know the record of Sodom and Gomorrah, those sodomites, right? In terms of homosexuals, man on man, and that kind of wickedness, right? They say, are set forth for an example, suffering the vengeance of eternal fire. So the Most High actually created them to be an example unto others. so that all would, just like in the past, so that all would know and fear and be like, you know what, I don't want to be like them, because I don't want to go through what it is they went through, because everybody who do wickedly will have to answer for it. You see, even in the story in Judges with the Benjamites, they had to answer for what they did. You understand? So you also have to pray to not be a bad example. Always pray to be a good example unto others, to actually represent the ministry in a good way. You understand? To actually do something pleasing to the Most High and not something wickedly. And these scriptures is really what has helped you to do that, because the scriptures are an example unto you, to help you to be an example unto others. Right? It say is Romans 15 verse 4, right? It say, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning. So when you read the scriptures and you understand how to be righteous, you would follow these things. And then after following these things and being that light, a good example, men would follow you. You understand it, like a chain reaction. You had to be able to represent that righteousness in a good way, not in a bad way. I'll read it over, right? So say, for whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. You understand? So these are the kind of things that you're supposed to be praying for, hoping, and actually trying towards. Right? To always try to be that good example and not be one of the ones with the nigger behavior who just want to be wickedly. You understand? And shame the ministry or end up falling out to the end. You always have to be praying to not be one of them. Anyway, I hope this was edifying to anybody that listen. And with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rachakodash. I'd like to double honors the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and Rule Well. And peace and salutation to the Akim around the world that pushes truth and sincerity. This is Yaraba from Trinidad Camp saying Shalom.